Ninglun Hanga, incidents like these often go viral. We've seen it time and again on social media as well. But for many from the Northeast, this is not new. There's a pattern at play. And it's sad that there is a pattern that still exists. How widespread is this really? Give us an understanding of, your perspective to the viewers. How widespread is this in everyday experiences of being treated as the outsider? Shameful, once again, in your own country, from housing discrimination to casual slurs that Dr. Tombing was pointing out. What are some of the most common forms of bias that Northeasterners have to face in 2026 even?
Yes, it's very unfortunate because this kind of news have been coming in after every interval. Like, especially this kind of incidents have been reported since 2000 mostly.
Yeah.
That shows that even the Northeast people have also started traveling outside the region for work, for studies, or for whatever, even as a tourist. So once this encounter started, and even the mainland Indian, the so-called other parts of Indian state have a little bit of a shock reactions is there. And for the Northeasterners, we people are also quite sensitive, so to say. When you are asked about your identity card, for example.
Certainly.
Quite sensitive, politically very sensitive reason. So the reaction often, they immediately react, for example, especially with boys, for example, with younger generations. And it is something to do with insensitivity also in with the mainland or the other parts of the states. Sensitivity in the sense, for example, if the other person is hanging around your neighborhood or living around your neighborhood, maybe you could have treated them a little bit more with sensitivity, for example. And like you rightly said about the mindset that is there. And another thing is, since there is more and more encounter between the Northeast region and the mainland India, this kind of incidents may also be frequently happening in future as well. That is what I say.
Yep.
On the other hand, the Indian society at large is also very much divided along caste lines. And unfortunately, the Northeast region people are seen as sort of the lower people from the lower strata. So that kind of a sense of looking them down, and of course they do come to work in some kind of a service sector which is considered a lower job or something. Of course, there are many other Northeastern people working in collar jobs and high flying or many other respected jobs, but mostly they are seen in that category.
Yeah, Mr. Hangal, you're absolutely right. I mean, I'm trying to understand, people from Northeast must feel that their concerns aren't being taken seriously, because whenever such incidents happen, like you rightly pointed out, in very frequent intervals, there is outrage for a few days and then there is abhorrent silence right after. People just simply forget about it. Life just keeps on moving and you just forget about it. So what's your message to the enforcement? What's your message to the central government?
One thing which I noticed in recent time is that, for example, boys are fighting. For example, these are happening in public places.
Yeah.
And they're bystanders. And nobody tries to help or nobody tries to douse the fight, for example. Nobody is intervening.
Yeah.
That is something very alarming. For example, even in Northeast, there are fights on the streets. Drunken fights or boys fighting, group fights, for example. And elders come out and try to
placate both parties. Yeah.
For example, this is not happening.
Yeah.
So, for example,
it's the day and age of social media, ma'am. Who can you blame? This is agnostic to one particular community. This happens across the board. People are more busy video recording the entire tussle than coming out and helping them out.